Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about American culture and a huge change that I think is emerging in American culture. All right, so what is this video useful? Well, if you're interested in American politics, it crosses over into that. If you're into American pastimes, pastimes that were built in America, that are continued to be maintained, and most of their products come out in America, it's useful for that as well. Because I think there's this huge cultural change that we need to acknowledge. All right, so let's talk about it. All right, so what's going on? What's this cultural change that we need to acknowledge in America? Well, okay, so I'm going to say it and then I'll explain it and I'll give it some evidence. I think that hetero relationships are now going to be closeted going forward, and LGBTQ relationships have completely come out of the closet and no longer need to be in the closet, but hetero relationships are being structured so that they should be closeted, right? And you're like, wait a second, is that bad? No, it's not bad. It's nothing that anybody needs to worry about. It's not bad in any way, but it is a very important change that I think we need to acknowledge. So let's get there. So let me give you some evidence of this. Okay, so I saw Twisters, absolutely fantastic movie. I absolutely love this movie. And it starred Anthony Ramos, and Anthony Ramos, he played a character named Javi. It starred Daisy Head, she played Kate. And then Tyler Owens was played by Glenn Powell. Okay, so Tyler is a 6'6" cowboy, right? Javi is a 5'5" analyst, data analyst. Both of them are storm chasers, but they chase storms in different ways. And Kate is a storm, like a weather witch, right? Like she don't even need like computers. She can just like pick up a dandelion and know exactly where all the weather's gonna go. She's awesome in the film. She's a storm chaser too. We start the film with her losing 3 friends for her to get a grant. She's like very epic, right? So, and basically traditional love triangle, hetero love triangle, 2 men trying to peacock and get the attention of this one hetero woman, right? Like classic. You've seen it in 100 movies. Literally 100 movies have the same premise, and not small ones, like major ones with billion-dollar stars, Hollywood stars, right? So we get into this, right? And it gets really interesting. Listen to this. Listen to how this actually rolls out. This is absolutely fascinating. So the movie goes through every single, formulaic, will they, won't they, and then you're like, is there really a question here? Like, Glenn Powell is 6'6", and Javi's, Tyler is 6'6". He's a 6'6" cowboy, and Javi is a 5'5" data analyst. I think we all know where this is going, right? Like, so the movie, by the way, 5 out of 5 star movie. I absolutely loved it. It opened. I saw pre-release on Wednesday on RDX. I saw it on Thursday by myself, and I saw it with 2 friends on Friday. So that tells you where I absolutely love this film. It was fantastic. At the end of the movie, this is so incredible. Listen to this. At the end of the movie, they, Kate is, and actually this isn't much of a spoiler, right? So not much of a spoiler. So we get, the movie's been out for a week, but I'm not going to give too much of a spoiler. So we get to the very end, and Tyler has been pursuing Kate the entire film, and she's given and she's like, Javi, we're friends. But with Tyler, she's given a lot of signals that, that they're going to be together, right? So at the end of the movie, Tyler takes her to the airport. Javi takes her to the airport, but Tyler chases her to the airport, and the guy's like, your truck is going to get towed, right? And he's like, and then he hits the button and actually literally like screws his truck into the ground, get outs, and runs after Kate into the airport. And you're like, oh, great. Tyler and Kate are going to be together and they're going to have a baby, and we're going to watch that movie 20 years from now. And that, kid's child will be the new storm chaser. And they'll be, flying hang gliders directly into tornadoes. I'm here for it. Yes, let's do it. Right. But then Tyler goes in and he's like, "Hey, Kate," and he literally runs to her and gives every coded hetero message. I chased you in the airport. Here's where we kiss. And they kiss. They don't kiss. They don't kiss. He's like, "Hey, Kate, we had an awkward, will they, won't they? Let's do that here. I chased you into the airport to not kiss you." And I was like, what is happening? Why didn't he just she should have turned, saw him, run 20 feet, jumped in the air. He picks her up. They spiral around and kiss. Like, this is in 100 movies. Why are they not kissing? Here's why. All right. Check it out. Hetero relationships are to be closeted now. Right. They're not shown in almost any mainstream film. They're like, hey, you guys can have babies and kiss, like man and a woman kiss, but this is Hollywood. We're not really going to celebrate that, right? There are relationships that are to be celebrated, right? You get all your CEOs, you get your LGBTQ people, you get your LGBTQ allies, everybody gets together and there's a parade, and that relationship is celebrated. But hetero relationships, there's no parades for those. And we really don't want to see that in public anymore. You guys need to closet that. And that's why, and I think that's what was being shown in the film. Now you're like, wait a second, Scott, we can't be openly affectionate as heteros? No, we can't anymore. It's not really appropriate, right? So should we be upset about that? Absolutely not. What's interesting is we're now the intriguing countercultural rogues of romance, right? We are the ones where what we do in the shadows, right? Man kisses a woman, that's got to be hidden now. And so I think a lot of people would be like, oh, that's terrible. No, it's cool. We are the intriguing countercultural rogues of culture now, right? Whereas LGBTQ, thank goodness, there was a point where they couldn't celebrate openly. They couldn't show their love together, right? Now it's everywhere, right? And it's celebrated. It's literally celebrated, right? And so they're not intriguing. They're not counterculture. They're not roguelike anymore. They are mainstream romance. That is mainstream accepted, celebrated romance. And we've never had this, right? The heteros have never been the intriguing countercultural rogues of romance, which would be attractive and exciting and scintillating to all types of different people, because a lot of people are like, well, I don't really, I'm not really mainstream or, muggle or, that's not me, right? But this is the first time hetero relationships have had this opportunity, and it's good. And it's good that we've reached a point where LGBTQ are embraced at every level, and CEOs, march right next to them in the campaign, in the parade. But the intriguing countercultural rogues of romance now are anybody who is in a hetero relationship, that's a switch, right? And I think it's surprising, because we thought, oh, well, nobody has to be in the closet, but that was wrong, right? We're taking turns. LGBTQ had to be in the closet for a long time, which was terrible, right? But now, right, we thought that everybody would just come out, right? But that's not the case. It looks like heteros need to go into the closet to see what it is like to be an intriguing countercultural romance rogue, right? And we've never had that opportunity, and that's interesting. That is very interesting. I think that's what Twisters means, and I think if you looked at the last Star Wars film from the Star Wars sequel trilogy, it's the same. Both multi-billion-dollar films. Every single word you just heard is my humble opinion. The important part is when I get to hear your humble opinion when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.